I thought I might find some peace in the breathing museum. I'd seen it pop on my feed a few times. It seemed so mysterious to begin with. I mean, artworks and trees. I thought it's something I really want to see. When I found out it was real, I immediately had a look at the program and saw the Vivian Sasson would be exhibited in the summer. So I decided to visit. Flying in just as we broke through the clouds, I passed over the dunes, seeing Breathing Museum from a distance as part of the bigger city. It's really interesting how they created this forest. It only took 20 minutes from the city centre, and yet when I got here, I felt like I was at the edge of pure wilderness. When you arrive, you go through the visitor centre. It's really fascinating to see the on-site lab, to see people working behind the scenes and transforming digital data into DNA. They're literally growing data. I met Anna there. She told me about the permanent collection that's been growing in pine trees. Apparently, the native Scots pines can hold a lot of data. Sasson's latest collection was in a small clearing that Anna showed me on a map. She also gave me a small device with which I could scan organisms to see artworks. Wandering in nature, I initially felt overwhelmed. Did all these organisms contain precious artworks? I felt myself being especially careful not to damage any of the plants. Looking at the map, I scanned a bush and saw a sculpture. A leaf led me to a tapestry. Following the map, I navigated through the forest, sensing my surroundings, until I made it to the clearing, where I finally met Sasson's creations. I scanned a fern, which brought up her iconic work, Umbra, a beautiful image of a cloud, with which I lay on the floor, looked back up to the skies again, and contemplated if this feeling I had was the same as I'd expected to feel while sitting up there in the clouds. Here, I feel like I'm bathing within nature. I sense myself being immersed and connecting to things which are on the edge of my capabilities. Like I'm coming just to experience and to be in contact with art in a different, natural way.
I feel pretty fortunate on days like this to do what I do in the middle of the city. The smells change every few steps. Sometimes I think I know this forest better than my living room. I go out into forests looking and caring for data. I work in a living archive. It's full of all kinds of data these days. There are local families using the living archives to store their files. Over here, for example, is the plot of the Van den Bos family. I know one of them has hidden a really precious family NFT here. This tree has photos from the Gur family. I've helped some of them trace their roots. Literally. I work with bioarchivists who know everything about the data stored in these archives. They're archivists and synthetic biologists who transform digital media into sequences of DNA for storage in plants and trees. We also have a data migration team who keep everyone updated with how data is spreading in the forest through pollination. Then there's us, the data harvesters. We know how to read nature. We can identify plants. We're excellent foragers. We know where everything grows or where it's likely to be. We also specialize in caring for the plants and the data inside to ensure they stay healthy. If a plant is unwell, its data is backed up across multitudes of backups. When I started working here, I was also trained how to use the DNA sequencers. I always carry one with me to use in the field. It's still a beautiful process, I think. Taking a leaf, examining it, wondering what's inside. Running a sample can take a while. It's slow work, almost meditative. One of the things that drew me to this life was the vision. the idea of building futuristic infrastructure but having it function more like a public service than a tech company. I don't consider myself a tech worker. To me, that sounds more like those old jobs, developing software for Google or picking items at Amazon. In the old archives, a few people decide what should be kept. In the living archives, we work with local communities to decide what should be stored. Here, we always ask, what should be preserved and what should return to the soil? I feel more like being a forest guardian or a data explorer. I feel myself as part of an ecosystem within the urban setting, which makes it even harder when you see something you feel connected to dying. Yet, it starts to make sense when you understand that in this system, nothing really ends. There are simply new beginnings.